I guess I've lived in the Seattle area long enough to consider myself a Seattleite. I don't know if it gets any more official than that. I've lived all around the country, not every corner of the country, but in enough places to know what I like and what I don't like. And I first came to Seattle in 2002 for a Microsoft event. That was a lot of fun. Didn't really think much of it, but remember thinking, it's kind of nice up here. I like the vibe. Didn't really feel rushed, didn't feel slow, just right in the middle. Very comfortable. Coming from the Midwest, Seattle felt like that a bit. Very comfortable. Didn't come back until, what was it, 2005, 2006? No, 2004? A few years later, either way. I was living in Southern California at the time, and not really happy with the vibe of Southern California. I never really liked living there, and it was one of the reasons why I was kind of not happy there. Just one reason. Didn't really know what my options could be, and didn't even consider Seattle. And it was right after GnomeDex 2004. That's right. Okay, it was 2004. Now that I think about it, right after GnomeDex 2004, I was invited back to Seattle for another Microsoft event. And a different one, different company, or different team within Microsoft. And it just happened to be very well timed. Came up here and it was, late summer, maybe early fall, but probably closer to summer. But I remember getting that same feeling, that feeling of comfort, and remembered having been very frustrated with where I was living at the time. And it just fit. And I just felt that Seattle was comfortable. It felt like home to me, and I hadn't really felt like I had been at home, that feeling of home, since I had left Iowa for the job in Northern California. And that's really what it was. And then we made moves to basically move up here, and that's how it happened. I came up to Seattle because I really wanted to, and I guess I feel myself as much a part of this area of the world. The Pacific Northwest is what we call it. Probably more than just Seattle in general. I think the entire Pacific Northwest has just a vibe to it. That's the easiest way to explain it. I find the way of life very casual. There's enough going on that if you want to do something, you can do something. It's very family friendly. The air is clean. You've seen some of the views that I've showed you in the vlogs, including directly from where I happen to be standing right now, my back deck porch thing on the other side of my house. And it's just, I don't know, it always felt like home to me, and I think that's why I like Seattle, and why I think I've always liked Seattle. I remember thinking eons ago, the mid-90s, in the heyday of Microsoft, thinking, when I'd hear about Seattle, just how exotic that sounded, I was like, wow, that's Seattle, it sounds cool. And then being up here and falling in love with the weather, the coffee, the people, the way of life, really. And then, of course, I've gone into why I love autumn, and I love autumn, especially in Seattle. It's just so picturesque. I love cool weather. I love cool people. And I guess I don't just like Seattle. I think I probably love it. It would be very, very difficult for me to get pulled out of the Pacific Northwest. I would have to find a place that was, to me, equally as full of win as Seattle has been. But I guess not just for now, but potentially for the rest of my life, Seattle's home. And home is where your heart is.